Aline and her husband Alex have been together for 11 years. They have kids, a job, and a little secret. For 3 years Aline and Alex have been visiting a swing club. Aline tells us how they got started, what to expect in a swing club for the first time, and why it strengthened their relationship.
When my kids were little, I would say no to any question, whether it was to the kids, no, you can't have candy for breakfast, to myself, no, that bikini is not for you, or to my husband, no, I'm tired, let's do it another time. I kept saying this and no, and I needed something I could say yes to. I longed to break out of my routine, to step out of my comfort zone. But I also had no idea that going to a swing club would make a difference in my life. My husband and I had been living together for 11 years, we always had great sex without any swing clubs. But wild nights and strip clubs with dancing until morning were replaced by running between school and clubs, and instead of bars and rock concerts we spent our evenings watching documentaries about maniacs and detectives. We had kids. Responsibilities. Responsibilities. We're adults, after all. I met Ellen and Max at work. Their firm was in the office next door. A handsome, statuesque couple. She's a designer. Green eyes, long blonde hair, noble appearance. He's an economist, a stylish blonde with a luxuriously curly head of hair and an athletic physique. Ken and Barbie for aesthetes. Ellen was always courteous and friendly to me. Sometimes we would have lunch together at the cafe on the first floor, drinking coffee and discussing movies. She liked trendy directors, loved short films, and had a loose view of relationships. There were no stories about swing clubs, though. We didn't bring up the subject. Ellen flirted with me a few times, but I thought I was imagining things. Until she made her intentions known. One day I was working late, and Ellen suggested we take a break and have coffee in their office. She poured me an espresso, put her hand on my knee, and, embarrassed, confessed that she and her husband were swingers and they really liked me. I left the office very quickly, explaining that I was not like that and that I loved my husband.
Would you risk it?
When the children went to bed, I told my husband about this episode. I thought it would cheer him up, but he was rather turned on by the story. Alex said, "You are young and beautiful, you have a sexy figure, I already know that everyone wants you," and then added, "By the way, I had a list of things I want to try before I'm 40, and going to a swing club is on it." I wasn't shocked, more intrigued. My husband turns out he can still surprise me. Then I thought for the first time, although before I was sure that swinging is not my thing, I have never even watched movies about swing clubs. 10 days after that Alex told me that Vincent, our mutual friend, was in a swing club with his girlfriend. And it was cosmic. They had incredible sex for another couple weeks after the visit. I know Vincent and his girlfriend, quite an ordinary couple, well brought up, brilliantly educated. I didn't think they practiced this. We started discussing it with my husband. It turned out that he would be interested to see me in a swing club. And, what can I hide, I was curious too. We both had our eyes lit up. For a couple more weeks, I thought about it, imagined it. And then I made up my mind. There are some people you can walk to the North Pole with. My husband is like that. He's the perfect partner. I always feel safe with him and I know he has my best interests at heart. I had no doubt that if we went to a private swing club and I didn't like it, he would turn around and take me out of there. I agreed. We took the kids to my mom's for the weekend. Before we went to the swing club for the first time, I asked my husband, "Hold my hand all evening. It makes me feel better." There was a warning sign at the entrance that said if you were offended by public displays of sexuality, don't come in. Inside, the club looked great, a large dance floor, a luxurious bar and delicious food in the restaurant. I had feared that such places were dirty and gaudy, but it turned out to be a nice, classy place. We took a seat at the bar and ordered drinks. Two guys were sitting nearby, and soon some cute girls came up to them and gave them blowjobs, without a shadow of embarrassment. I didn't dare to watch directly, but it was very arousing. On the dance floor, people were rocking more openly than in a normal club. Many were half undressed. My husband and I are not the shy type, but for this establishment we were a bit shy. What I've always liked about swing clubs is the respect for your boundaries. If you don't want to continue the evening yourself, you're left alone. No harassment or intrusiveness like in regular clubs. The highest values in such places are respect for other people's choices. They always ask for consent before doing anything, and anonymity. If you tell them that you saw a member of a famous lawyer at a party, you will be excluded from society for life. The main rules are the realization of sexual experimentation and complete freedom of action. You can do whatever you want, have sex with a leather rabbit, watch others, or just drink at the bar and chat with your partner. Or with that guy in the pearl underpants. While we were tasting cocktails, a girl came up to us. She told me I was beautiful and kissed me on the lips, having first gotten my consent. It was so simple and casual. Sasha continued to hold my hand. It felt good. I relaxed a little. The actual swing club turned out to be quite a nice place. The best swing clubs have a far side. To enter there, you have to get completely naked, at most, stay in a towel around your hips, and girls in their underwear. In this area do not enter all visitors to the club, but many. There's a pool, a jacuzzi, private rooms for privacy, and large beds in the center of the room. The night we were at the swing club for the first time, Alex said, "Do you want us to just stay at the bar?" But I wanted to see everything. There are condoms everywhere in a swing club. We've never even had oral sex without protection. There are baskets all over the place, clean sheets and tissues everywhere so you can wipe your bed and change your underwear. I always felt safe in this place. Everyone here followed hygiene and took care of their own and other people's health. I'll be honest, when we first went into the far side, I was shocked. The people there did almost everything you can imagine. And even more. At first I felt incredibly embarrassed, squeezed Sasha's hand harder. We sat down near the bar and just watched. After half an hour, Sasha said, "Shall we go to one of the private rooms?" So we did, locking the door behind us. We had great sex in the swing club, then went home and had passionate sex for the rest of the weekend. We haven't had a honeymoon like that in a long time. That's when it all started. We liked the experience of going to the swing club, and we started to repeat it, going to the swing club for 3 years. I was no longer worried about not being able to afford to wear this or that. I bought myself a sea of revealing outfits. When we came to that place for the second time, a very beautiful girl approached us. I looked at her and admired her. And when the stranger gave Alex a blowjob right in front of my eyes, it did not alarm me in the least. Everything that happened at the club stayed there. My husband and I decided that if we met a couple we were both attracted to, we would have sex with them. It took 7 months before we decided to take on this experiment. We met a husband and wife at a swing club, guys we felt comfortable talking to. The girls seemed as intimidated as I had been on my first visit to the club. We honestly admitted that we hadn't had an experience like this yet either. We secluded ourselves in a room. It was my first time with a woman. We had long and tender sex as a couple. The guys just watched their wives fondle each other in the swinging club. That was the end of it that night. But a couple weeks later we met up and switched partners. Alex and I always saw each other and never parted ways. For us, this is important. The experience was vivid and memorable. But then we decided that we didn't want to meet the same couple over and over again. We had no desire to get close to anyone. Our choice was anonymity. Many then become family friends, invite them over for dinner, go on vacations together. We were against it. We wanted it all to stay in a private swing club, and outside of it we had loved ones, family, children waiting for us who didn't need to know what was going on in our bed. We were never afraid of someone falling in love with someone else at a swinging party at a club. There was no such thing at all. I had no fear that sex with another girl would please my husband more than with me. I trust Sasha, and he trusts me. There have been some embarrassing moments. In 3 years, of course, there have been a couple of unpleasant situations related to swinging. Once, during a family dinner in one of the restaurants, a girl we knew closely from a swinging couples club came up to us to say hello. I don't know why she did it, our relatives didn't guess anything, but my husband and I felt awkward. I also remember that in the swing club we met a couple about 30 years older than us. Very nice, intelligent people, but we did not want to have sex with them. It was uncomfortable to say no to them. I was afraid of hurting their feelings, so we ran away from the club under the pretext of an urgent call from home. But these are isolated incidents. Usually, in places like this, everyone treats your choices appropriately. That couple was very nice, but not our type. My husband and I attended a swinger club for 3 years, 8 or 9 times a year. But then we moved to another city and were done with swinging. We just wanted something different. It's safe to say that for both Alex and me, the swing club was a positive experience. It was cool to escape from gray everyday life and for a while to become another person, to feel sexy, to loosen up. It's nice when strangers find you attractive and openly talk about it. It got rid of a lot of complexes. And yes, swinging has strengthened our relationship with my husband. It's not just about great sex. Swinging builds trust and cohesion in a couple. You just can't do something like that and not trust each other.
Thank you for listening to the end. Subscribe and like. Bye.